The stars mocked us. In 2375, humanity stumbled into the Galactic Concord, a club of alien empires who saw Earth as a dusty speck and us as barely upright apes. Their gift? A rotting shipyard of cosmic junk, scrap ships and dead machines, dumped like trash to keep us busy. They thought we'd fail, fumble, and fade. But they didn't know Maya Torres and her scrap rats, a crew of grease-stained dreamers who saw treasure in the wreckage. From that junk, they'd build the Juggernaut, a ship to shake the galaxy and prove one thing: mess with humans, and we don't just survive. We burn bright, and we fight dirty. In the year 2375, the stars weren't kind to newcomers. Humanity had finally cracked the code to the galaxy, punching through the veil of space with a warp-drive jury-rig from old fusion reactors in sheer spite. We joined the Galactic Concord, a sprawling web of alien empires that have been trading tech and treaties for 1,000 years. But to them, Earth was a mudball speck, and humans? We were the kids who showed up to the party with finger paints and a slingshot. The Concord's welcome gift was a joke wrapped in rust. They dumped a derelict shipyard on the edge of Sol System, a floating graveyard of gutted hulls, fried circuits, and engines that hadn't hummed since the last ice age on some forgotten world. For your development, the envoy from the Krell Dominion droned through a translator drone, its tentacles twitching with what passed for pity. Primitive species need toys to tinker with. The aliens expected us to poke at it like cavemen with fire, maybe blow ourselves up, and stay out of their polished corridors. Maya Torres watched the massive hauler disgorge the jump from the viewport of her battered shuttle. She was 38, with grease-streaked cheeks and a ponytail that had seen better days. Her brown eyes narrowed, fists clenched on the armrests. "Toys," she muttered. "I'll show them toys." Maya wasn't born for desks or diplomacy. She'd grown up in the sprawl of New Houston, fixing hover trucks in the shadow of fusion towers that belched steam like angry gods. When the first Concorde scout ship landed, sleek, silent, terrifying, she'd been the one elbow deep in its landing gear, patching a hull breach with weld seal and prayers. That got her noticed. Now, she led a ragtag crew of misfits, engineers who'd flunked out of orbital academies, mechanics from asteroid mines, and a couple of dreamers who'd read too many old sci-fi holos. They called themselves the Scrap Rats, and their shuttle, the Rusty Nail, was as patched as their dreams. "Captain," came a voice from the comms. It was Jax, her second-in-command, a lanky kid from Mars with tattoos of circuit boards snaking up his arms. "That yard's bigger than Luna. What the hell are we supposed to do with a mountain of alien garbage?" Maya grinned, the kind that said she was already 3 steps ahead. "Build something that scares the stars, Jax. Or die trying." The shipyard orbited at Lagrange Point 5, a lazy spin against the black. It was a relic from the Vexery Wars, centuries old, abandoned when the Concorde steamrolled the last holdouts. Hulls the size of cities drifted like whales in a cosmic fog, their skins pocked with meteor scars and laser burns. Inside, the airlocks wheezed open to corridors choked with dust and debris. Maya and her crew suited up, clunky Earth-made vac suits with jury-rigged O2 recyclers, and dove in. First day, it was all. "Look at this," whispered Lena, the team's welder, a stocky woman from the Andes with hands like iron. She traced a finger over a Vexery power core, its crystalline lattice glowing faintly under grime. "This thing could light a continent." Jack snorted, kicking a pile of conduits that scattered like roaches. "Yeah, if we knew how to turn it on without turning us into plasma." Humor kept the edge off. They weren't soldiers, they were tinkerers, the kind who laughed at explosions as long as no one got hurt. By week 2, the yard was home. They strung glow strips along the main hangar, a vast cavern where 3 gutted dreadnoughts lay like beached skeletons. Bunks were hammocks slung from bulkheads. Meals were ration packs spiced with contraband chili from Earth, hot enough to make aliens' eyes water, if they'd ever tried it. Maya gathered them that first night, polos of the yard flickering on a salvaged projector. "Listen up, rats. The Concorde thinks we're playing in the sandbox. Fine. We'll build a castle that'll bury them. She pointed to schematics pulled from public Concorde databases, leaky as a sieve, but enough to start. We need an FTL drive. Hull integrity. Weapons that don't fizzle. From this. Blank stares. Then Raj, the quiet fusion tech from Mumbai, raised a hand. Ma'am, that core Lena found. It's a Zenthuri Mark 7. Concorde phased it out a century ago. But if we stripped the safeties. Eyes lit up. That was the spark. Humans didn't follow blueprints, we redrew them. The build started small. They gutted the smallest dreadnought, a stubby hauler called the Ebon Drift, its frame warped but solid. Lena and her arc welder team cut away the dead weight, rusted bulkheads, fossilized cabling, while Jax mapped the guts with a drone swarm he'd hacked from a mining rig. Like spelunking in hell, he joked over comms, his drone's light picking out nests of alien script that glowed under UV. Setbacks hit fast. The first power coupling blew during a test, sending a shower of sparks that singed Raj's beard. He came staggering out, smelling like burnt curry, and the crew howled. "What did you do? Plug it into your grandma's chai kettle," teased Miko, the NAV specialist, a wiry Japanese-American with a laugh like gravel. Raj flipped her off, but grinned. "Next time, you try bridging a trilithium flux without melting your face." Maya pushed them through it. She was everywhere, welding at dawn, sketching mods at midnight. Her stubborn streak shone in the quiet moments, like when she stared down a flickering holoscreen, coffee mug in hand, muttering, "Come on, you beautiful bastard." But it wore on them. One night, after a 12-hour shift chasing a coolant leak, Jax cornered her in the mess. "Cap, we're breaking. Folks are running on stims and spite. We need a win." She looked up, eyes red-rimmed. "A win? Jax, this is the win. Every weld, every hack, it's us saying we're not their pets." Her voice cracked, just a hair. "I grew up hearing humanity's the weak link. Watched my dad lose his shop to Concorde tariffs. This is for him. For all of us." He nodded, clapping her shoulder. "Then let's not die idiots. Slow it down. We're in this together." She did, a little. Mornings became idea jams, crew sprawled on crates, tossing concepts like frisbees. Miko suggested hybrid NAV comp, alien gyroscopes synced to human AI from old Mars rovers. "Predictable aliens code straight lines," she said. "We zig when they zag." Laughter rippled, but it stuck. The real breakthroughs came from desperation. The FTL core they salvaged was a mismatched beast, a Krell warp coil grafted to a Vexury containment field, leaking radiation like a sieve. Standard fix. Overhaul it with billion credit parts. Human fix. Raj and Lena encased it in a Faraday cage of salvaged drone hulls, lined with lead from asteroid ore. And duct tape, Raj added, slapping a roll of the silver stuff from Earth's glory days. Holds the universe together. Testing was terror. They fired it up in a sealed bay, Maya at the console, crew huddled behind blast shields. The core whined, a low growl building to a scream. Alarms blared, containment breach, flux overload. Shut it down. Jax yelled. No, Maya barked, fingers flying. She overrode the safeties, rerouting power through auxiliary vents. The whine peaked, then, steady. A blue haze shimmered in the test chamber, space-time rippling like water. FTL bubble, stable for 7 seconds. The crew erupted, hugs, whoops, Lena hoisting Raj like a trophy. But the hull. A nightmare. The Ebon Drift's frame was too brittle, cracking under stress sims. We need muscle, Maya said, pacing. That's when they eyed the big derelict, a colossal Vexury battlecruiser, the Storm's Fury, its prow a jagged maw of torpedo bays. Gutting it whole was suicide, it masked like a moon. So they didn't. They harvested, armor plates bolted to the hauler's skin, mismatched but layered like medieval plate mail. Human touches sealed the gaps, hydrogel from medkits for flex, carbon fiber struts from shuttle wings. Weapons were the wild card. Concorde scrap meant railguns with dead coils, plasma vents clogged with eons of ash. Jax got creative. He daisy-chained the rails with supercapacitors ripped from cargo lifts, overclocked to spit slugs at relativistic speeds. Ugly as sin, he said, but it'll punch holes in a black hole. For close quarters, they mounted a barrage of micromissiles, casings stuffed with asteroid shrapnel and ignited by cherry bombs from Lena's emergency kit. Improvised. Hell, it's art, she cackled. Months blurred. Sweat, curses, breakthroughs. One dawn, a hull plate sheared during welding, venting Atmo and nearly sucking Miko into the void. Maya dove, mag boots locking her in place, hauling the NAV back by her harness. They floated there, panting, stars wheeling outside. You good? Maya gasped. Miko nodded, pale. Yeah. But Cap, why us? Why this madness? Because the galaxy forgot what fire feels like, Maya said, voice fierce. We're the spark that won't go out. By Cycle 6, the Juggernaut took shape. Ugly didn't cover it, a lumpy beast, hauler belly swollen with battlecruiser guts, patched in greens and grays like a quilt from hell. Engines mismatched, Vexery thrusters flanking a pair of salvaged Earth ion drives, belching blue fire. The bridge? A bubble of scavenged viewports, consoles duct-taped into a mad mosaic. But she hummed. Test flights looped sold, FTL hops flickering them to Mars and back. The crew named her over synth beer, the Juggernaut. Rolls over everything, Jax toasted. Especially smug aliens. Word leaked to the Concorde feeds, grainy drone vids of the build, humans swarming like ants on a carcass. The Krell envoy pinged Maya, amusing. But inefficient. Your contraption will fail at first warp. She fired back a hollow of the core test, captioned, try us. They almost believed it themselves. Juggernaut was a monster, but untested. Crew rotation stretched thin, Raja's hands shook from rat exposure, Lena nursed a weld burn the size of a fist. Maya saw the cracks, arguments over power draws, Miko's nightmares of the near-miss. But loyalty held. These were her people, bound by grit and inside jokes. We're not building a ship, she'd say at shift's end, passing out ration bars. We're building a middle finger to the stars. Then the stars bit back. It hit the feeds like a gut punch, Epsilon Eridani, humanity's toehold colony on New Eden. A rogue faction, the Shadow Claws, exiles from the fractured Drathri hive, struck without warning. Their ships, sleek hunters with void cloaks, shredded the colony's defenses in hours. Holos showed burning habdomes, screams cut short by translator static. Message to the Concorde, the Claw's warlord hissed in the broadcast. The soft skins multiply like vermin. Cull them now, or we burn your fringes. The Concorde's response. A form letter. Internal dispute. Non-intervention protocol. No fleets, no aid. Earth's envoys begged, the aliens cited maturity clauses. Primitive species handle their own messes. Maya watched the hollow in the Juggernaut's mess, crew silent around the table. New Eden, 5,000 souls, miners and farmers scratching life from red dirt. Families. Her gut twisted, her sister lived there, raising kids in a dome farm. Bastards, Jack spat. They gave us junk to keep us busy. Now they let us die. Maya stood, chair scraping. Not on our watch. Eyes turned. She met them, steady. Juggernaut's green enough. We jump. We fight. Murmurs. Raj rubbed his beard. Cap, she's got holes we haven't patched. FTL's shaky past 0.8 C. And the claws have 20 corvettes, cloaked and needling, Miko added, voice tight. We're one fat target. Maya leaned on the table, knuckles white. Scared? A beat. Then Lena barked a laugh. Hell yes. But I'm in. Nods rippled. Jax grinned. To New Eden, then. Let's dent some claws. They launched at dusk, Sol's son a baleful eye. Juggernaut groaned into motion, engines coughing like an old smoker. The FTL whine built, space-time folding, and held. Stars streaked to lines, Eridani blooming in hours. Alarms pinged, contacts. The claws pack, ghosts in the black, circling the colony's wreckage like sharks. Bridge was chaos, consoles beeping, crew strapped in. Maya in the hot seat, Jax on weapons, Miko plotting evades. 10 bogies, closing fast, Miko called. Void cloaks dropping, rail needles incoming. The first volley kissed Juggernaut's prow, sparks blooming on the patchwork armor. She shuddered but held, the layered plates dispersing the hits like rain on a tin roof. Shields at 80%, Raj yelled from engineering. Rerouting AUX power, gimme 10. Fire back. Maya snapped. Jax unleashed. The railguns thrummed, slugs lancing out in a storm. No elegant beams, this was brute force, overclocked coils hurling fist-sized tungsten at half-light speed. One claw corvette bloomed fire, its cloak shredding as it vented Otmo. Cheers erupted. Got one. Jax hooped. But they swarmed. Needles raked the flanks, carving gashes in the hauler's belly. A micromissile salvo from Juggernaut answered, shrapnel clouds shredding 2 more, but a claw slipped close, its plasma lance kissing the bridge viewport. Crack spiderwebbed, alarms wailed. Hull breach, deck 3. Lena's voice crackled. Maya gripped the arms, tasting blood from a split lip. Miko, evasive. Give Jax angles. Copy. But Cap, they're herding us toward the debris field. Smart bastards. The colony's ruins loomed, shattered stations, tumbling rocks from the mine belt. Claws pressed, forcing Juggernaut into the junk. Hits multiplied, engines stuttering, lights flickering. Raja's voice cut through, FTL coils hot. One more jump, and she might tear. A claw locked on, boarding pods launching like angry bees. They're coming aboard. Jax roared. Mayo's mind raced. Standard play, run, call for help that wouldn't come. Human play. Cheat. Miko, plot a microjump. Into the field. Eyes widen. That's suicide. Debris'll shred us. Not if we slingshot. Maya punched Coords, old Earth physics meshing with alien warp math. Thrusters low, ion drives high. We thread the needle, use the rocks for cover, bounce gravity. It's insane, Miko breathed. But her fingers flew, sinking the hybrid nav locked. Jump in 3. Claws closed, pods thudding against the hull. Grapples locked, breaching charges hummed. On the bridge, sweat stung eyes, but grins crept in, defiance, pure. Jump. Maya hit it. Reality tore. Juggernaut folded space in a blink, emerging inside the debris field, ion drives flaring to whip around a tumbling asteroid. The warp bubble interacted weird, human overclock twisting alien fields into a gravity whip. She surged, slingshotting at impossible excel, G-forces pinning the crew like hammers. Claws scattered, caught flat. Juggernaut barreled through, railguns barking from the spin. Pods sheared off, corvettes crumpled against rocks they couldn't dodge. One claw warship, the Pack Alpha, tried to match, its sleek lines crumpling as Juggernaut's bulk clipped it, shrapnel missiles turning the kill shot. The Alpha fired wild, plasma grazing the FTL core. Alarms screamed, breach imminent. She's gonna blow. Raj yelled. Maya didn't flinch. Vent it. Manual override, flood the bays. Lena's team scrambled, hatches hissing. The core burped a warp flare, space-time buckling outward in a shockwave. It caught the last claws mid-turn, folding their formation into a knot. Ships vanished in flares, not exploded, erased, yanked into micro-singularities from the botched jump. Silence fell. Juggernaut drifted, scarred and venting, but whole. Colony beacons flickered, survivors, calling. The warlord's last broadcast cut to static. Crew unstrapped, whoops turning to sobs. Jax hugged Miko, Lena bear hugged Raj. Maya stayed put, staring at the stars. We did it, she whispered. We fucking did it. Rescue ops took days. Juggernaut limped to New Eden, shuttles ferrying out the wounded. Maya's sister was there, dusty, fierce, kids clinging to her legs. Heard you built a monster, she said, pulling Maya into a hug. Proud of you, sis. Word spread faster than FTL. Concord feeds lit up, polos of the battle, Juggernaut's wild jump replayed in slow-mo. Analysts gawked, impossible vector. Human improvisation defies quantum norms. The Krell envoy pinged again, tone less smug, your vessel requires review. Potential asset. Maya's reply, asset. She's family. And she's ours. The galaxy shifted, a crack in the armor. Invites trickled, diplomat dinners, tech exchanges. Aliens whispered of the human anomaly, eyes lingering on our rough edges. Respect. A seed, not a bloom. The Concord still gated the big leagues, junkyards their subtle barbs. But Juggernaut orbited Earth now, a scarred sentinel, drawing tourists and recruits. Maya stood on her prow one eve, crew at her back, soul painting the hull gold. Jax sidled up. What's next, Cap? Galaxy tour? She smirked, chip still on her shoulder. Nah. There's more scrap out there. More fights. We're just getting started. The stars waited, a little less sure. Humanity, the backwater pests. We'd turn trash to thunder. And damn if it didn't feel good. Conclusion. The Juggernaut hung above Earth, a battered beast of bolts and defiance, its scars glowing under Sol's light. The galaxy was buzzing, Concord feeds replayed that impossible battle, whispering of the human anomaly. Respect wasn't love, the aliens still held their gates high, their gifts laced with barbs. But Maya Torres and her crew didn't care. They'd turned trash into triumph, saved a colony, and cracked the star's smug armor. Standing on the bridge, Maya looked to her team, Jax's grin, Lena's burns, Miko's steady hands, and then to the horizon. More scrap out there, she said, voice low but fierce. More fights. We're not done. The stars blinked, uncertain, as humanity's spark grew brighter, ready to set the galaxy ablaze. Let this message ignite your faith, rekindle your hope, and spur you to stand firm on your journey. Thank you for staying with me to the end. If this story stirred your heart, drop a like, share this video with someone who needs it, and hit that subscribe button to catch more content like this. May God's blessings overflow in your life, and I'll see you soon.